My friends, I have to ask you something right away. How long have you been waiting on that I-130? Months? Maybe years? I know for many families, this wait feels endless, and every time you check your case status, it's the same story. Case is being processed. It can make you feel like the system has completely forgotten about you. But here's the thing. This time, something actually changed. Yes, you heard me right. USCIS has just made an announcement that could directly affect I-130 cases starting this September 2025. And the news is big enough that people are already buzzing about it. Some are saying it could mean shorter wait times. Others are warning that it may not be as simple as it sounds. And that's exactly why I don't want you to miss this, because understanding what this change really means could save you from a lot of stress, confusion, and even delays. Now, before I dive in, let's be honest. We've all seen headlines before that raise our hopes, only to find out nothing much really happened. That's why I'm going to break this down step by step in plain language. No confusing legal talk, no sugarcoating. Just the truth about what USCIS announced, how it affects I-130 processing, and most importantly, what it means for you and your family's future plans. Think about it. If even a small shift happens in these wait times, it could mean reuniting with loved ones sooner than expected. It could mean fewer sleepless nights wondering when the approval will come. It could mean finally being able to plan your next steps with some certainty. And I don't know about you, but that sounds like the kind of news we've all been waiting for. So, stick with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly what USCIS just revealed, why it's such a big deal, and what you should be doing right now to prepare. And hey, before we get started, if you appreciate updates like this, real talk, explained clearly so you don't have to dig through government websites, go ahead and give this video a like. It really helps me bring you more news that matters. All right, so let's get into the heart of this update, because I know you're here for the details, not the suspense. The big question on everyone's mind is this. Did USCIS really do something that will finally make the I-130 wait shorter? Or is this just another one of those announcements that looks good on paper, but doesn't actually change much in real life? Now, here's what happened. At the very start of September 2025, USCIS made an official update regarding family-based petitions, and yes, that includes the I-130. This is the form so many families depend on to reunite, whether it's a spouse waiting to bring their husband or wife to the U.S., parents petitioning for their children, or sons and daughters hoping to bring mom or dad over. It's the form that opens the door for family unity, and that's why every little update about it matters so deeply. What USCIS announced is that they are making changes to how these cases are being processed, specifically around the timeline. They've acknowledged something that we all knew, but they rarely admit it out loud. The backlog is huge, and the wait times are just not sustainable. Families are separated for years, plans are put on hold, and people live in this constant limbo. For the first time in a while, USCIS said they are shifting resources and adding additional staffing to reduce these waits, starting with the I-130. Now, I know what you're thinking. Haven't we heard that before? And you're right. They've promised improvements in the past, and the reality didn't always match. But here's why this time feels different. In their September statement, they didn't just make a vague promise. They laid out specific measures, including faster digital processing, expanded use of online systems to cut down on mailing delays, and get this, they're piloting a system that automatically flags cases that have been stuck for longer than the average wait, so those don't just keep collecting dust in the corner. That's a big deal, because one of the biggest frustrations we've heard from people is that cases seem to get lost or forgotten. You check the processing times, you check your own receipt date, and you realize your case is way past due, but there's no movement. This new system is meant to prevent that exact problem. And if it works the way they say, it could mean that long pending cases finally get the attention they deserve. So, let's talk about what this means in practical terms. As of this September, USCIS has said that new I-130 cases filed in certain categories, especially immediate relatives like spouses and minor children of U.S. citizens, should start to see noticeably shorter waits. Now, I don't want to oversell this and say it'll be instant, because immigration never works like flipping a switch. But what we're hearing is that those waits could start coming down by a few months. And when you've been waiting years, even shaving off a few months can feel like a lifeline. For people who already filed and have been stuck in limbo, the update is a little more cautious. USCIS is saying they will begin reviewing those older pending cases more aggressively, but they're not promising overnight results. Instead, they're urging people to keep checking their case status and look out for notices of movement, because the changes are being rolled out gradually. Now, if you've been through this process, you know how emotionally draining it is. Every day you wait feels like a day of your life you can't get back. I've talked to so many families who had to miss weddings, births, even funerals because of these delays. That's why even a small announcement like this is hitting people so deeply. It's not just about paperwork, it's about human lives, family memories, and the chance to finally be together without uncertainty hanging over your head. But here's where I want you to lean in and really listen, because this is important. While USCIS is promising improvements, the responsibility doesn't end there. If you have an I-130 pending, you still need to stay on top of your case. That means checking your online account, making sure your contact information is up to date, and responding to any requests they send you right away. If they roll out this faster processing and they try to reach you but your address or email is outdated, you could miss a critical step, and that could set you back months. Another point USCIS stressed in this update is that they are trying to move more people into online filing and online communication. That means if you're still relying on paper mail for everything, it might be time to consider setting up that online account if you haven't already. I know not everyone is comfortable with technology, but I promise you, it can make things smoother and faster. And if it feels overwhelming, maybe ask a trusted friend or family member to help you get set up. Because as these updates roll out, the people using the online system are likely going to benefit the most. And let's be real, hope is exactly what so many families need right now. When you're in the middle of this process, it can feel like no one understands what you're going through. But trust me, you're not alone. There are thousands of families waiting just like you, and announcements like this are a reminder that change, even if it's slow, is possible. And that's where I want to say this. Don't give up. If you're still waiting, if your case feels stuck, this update is proof that the system is shifting, even if slowly. Sometimes the hardest part is just holding on long enough to see the progress. And when you feel discouraged, remind yourself why you started this journey in the first place: to be with the people you love, to build a life together, to create memories under one roof instead of across oceans. Before I move to wrap this up, I want to pause for one quick moment. If you've been finding value in this conversation, if it feels good to finally have someone explain the USCIS updates in plain, human language, go ahead and tap that like button. It really helps me know that this kind of content is helping you, and it lets me keep making videos that matter for families like yours. So, what's the bottom line here? The I-130 wait is not magically disappearing, but USCIS has officially recognized the problem and is actively rolling out steps to fix it, starting in September 2025. That means shorter waits for some, gradual progress for others, and hopefully a future where no one has to wait years just to be reunited with the people they love. Will it be perfect? Probably not. But is it a step in the right direction? Absolutely. And as always, I'll be right here keeping you updated every step of the way. Because this journey can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to walk it alone. Together, we'll stay informed, we'll stay prepared, and we'll keep looking forward to the day those approvals finally land in your inbox.